Hello everyone, this is Christina Wallison. Welcome back to my channel. Sorry I have gone off air for a couple of weeks or so, but now I'm back with my weekly flower tutorial in cold porcelain or sugar. Now, thank you to everyone who signed up for my classes, Dahlia classes in January. I'm really looking forward to teaching you then. And also in regards to Cake International the other day, it was nice to meet some of you people I speak regularly on social media and made some friends with, and it was just nice to put a face to a name. And it was very nice to see all the beautiful, wonderful, inspiring flower entries there. That was a real treat. Now, I have been incredibly lucky to have the one and only Maggie Austin to okay my desire and my shameless need to recreate one of her roses. So she said okay. And just before we go ahead, I just want to say that Maggie Austin, for those of you who haven't heard of her, if that's at all possible, is a one of the leading artists in cake and flower industry at the moment, and she just creates an absolute pure magic with her flowers. They're evocative, make you feel like a child inside of a fairy tale, or evoke some other feelings that's just very creative, amazing, and magical. So I am a big fan. She has written a book for those of you who haven't yet purchased it, and her tutorial is in it, and the way she makes her rose is probably easier than the way I make her rose. But I just didn't want to be really rude and copycat absolutely everything, so I'm using my own methods here. And yeah, let's just see where I ended up with that. Thank you very much, Maggie, for letting me copy a rose. So I finally organized myself for a little holder for the wires, which is very exciting. I should have done it ages ago. And for this little center, I'm doing an umbrella type of holder, simply because it's probably not necessary if you just do a hook and dry it, but I quite like to use it if I can, just to make sure it's triply stable, my little flower. So anyway, just one of those things. And here I'm going to do a very thin nose to this thing, and the reason why I want to keep it thin is so that I could have a spiral of petals around this little thin nose, and I could space layer away from layer away from layer. It was just the idea that I had, whereas with the normal cone the layers would be positioned a lot closer together, and that's not the look that I wanted to get. So yeah, it doesn't have to be super neat. You could see one before on a background that I've rejected because I didn't like it, but actually coming to think of it, it doesn't have to be super neat. If you have a polystyrene ball of the right size, you could just add a little poking nose out of gum paste, or actually I use cold porcelain because it sticks so well and shapes itself into a nose so much easier. But here, since I'm working with sugar, I've decided to play it by the rules. I'm gonna try in one of the videos not play it by the rules and see if anyone complains, saying, but you're using cold porcelain. But you guys have been very good to me. Never seem to complain even when I do silly things like not to include what you're gonna need in the video, and basic things like this, the boring bits which I sometimes skip. So thank you for being so lovely. And these petals here, they sat around for about 5 to 10 minutes depending on the thinness or thickness, whichever. They need to be quite thin, and then you get them to slightly attach leathery consistency. And as you could see, the trick here is to keep your spiral. So I tend to stick the petals more to each other than to actually to the base, because I find that keeps the spiral more of a definite shape. And this is the second rose that I've made, because I didn't video. My video was out of battery, so out of charge. So I just did that one to practice. And so yeah, and so this one is the one I videoed, and I wanted to give it slightly less tight spiral, and I don't know, as you could see from the picture, you might prefer it with a tighter spiral. So at this point you just tighten it up. I tried to tighten it up a little bit, but I was thinking it was getting a bit too loose. But if you want it to be really neat and tight, make sure that the very first petal goes around the cone very tight and sticks to it completely, as opposed to loosely. And so that would give you a neater look, more like this one. And obviously, you know, try to put it in the shape that you want using toothpicks and things. And here I have, I'm going to use the middle size, but I don't think it makes mega difference. Don't use a very small ball tool, but I think with the biggest one it would still work well. It just depends on the size of your cutter. This one is the biggest cutter out of the set of 3, and for the first layer, around the first kind of after the first 15 petals, I tried to cut them down a little bit. It doesn't really show it very clearly, but I started off doing very tall petals, and then I thought, well, there's no need to bulk up all of it straight away. Now, with the toothpicks, I forgot to film it, but when you do the very middle, sometimes, and I find that with my own roses anyway, they kind of, the middle sometimes veers off the middle, and it makes it a little bit asymmetrical, where you don't want it to be like this. So just reposition it with a toothpick or something similar. You could actually reposition your middle and let it dry in a new position. That would work. So from this point on, you really just use your larger petals to continue on with the spiral, the same as you started off with, making the very tight middle, and then you just kind of keep rolling and rolling. And some people kind of do this spiral very loose, so it descends, goes down really, really fast, like you see these attractions for kids when kids get down this big spiral thing on the fanfare in their little kind of straw bags. Or you could do it very tight, so it doesn't go down straight off. I don't know, like something on a parking lot. Anyway, enough of this allegories, and just keep rolling it around. And like with anything, you know, you have to give it a bit of practice, and then you find your comfort with it really, and start being at home with making roses like this. That's my little map. I got in the habit of doing maps of flowers. I think sometimes it helps. And this is it for today. I hope you found it useful. Leave some questions in the comments if you have any, and good luck with making your own roses. This is Christina Wallace, and I will see you next week.